originally Twitter was a joke.
Oh.
Well, it was, and then it wasn't. And then they negotiated, and then they backed out.
Okay.
And then they came back, and then he backed out, and then the courts forced him to. So he was manipulating stock price by saying, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. And by teasing these things, he was either hurting or helping the stock price.
Okay. It's not just about your sex and your race now. It's about difference of opinion.
Conspiracy theorists, once they're right one time, they believe everything they've ever talked about is right. They're banking on getting paid basically for the rest of their lives. I just learned earlier this week that she is like the most hated person in Hollywood ever.
At this point, she's doing anything to stay relevant.
Welcome back to the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast. I'm Andrew. This is Nona. And today we are doing our last episode of the month, last episode before Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew it was the end of Thanksgiving, or, oh my God, the end of Thanksgiving, the end of November already, but really? This is the last episode?
For the month, yeah. Saturday's the 30th. Yeah.
Oh my God. Where has this month gone?
You mean the year?
No, really, this month. This month has flown by. I feel like yesterday was November 2nd.
We had a lot going on this month. I mean...
Our anniversary?
Yeah. No, I just mean like a lot. Like we've had several days where the kids have had overlapping things and we were on a staycation and just there's been like a moving part every day. This is probably our slowest weekend, our slowest consecutive 2 days probably this entire month.
I don't know. I stand by what I said. Like it literally feels like last week was Halloween. And then now it's already Thanksgiving. That's wild to me.
Yep. So today we've got some topics and some stuff. So more like current event kind of stuff, things that we haven't really touched on in a little while. So jump right into it. And there we go. My tabs weren't wanting to work for a second. First one that jumps out, which this spans a couple different things and some memes. I almost grabbed the memes from this. But I guess
there's more than one.
Yeah.
I saw the one that Elon put out.
He did the one, the like priest one with X, and somebody edited it with MSNBC's logo where X was. Yeah. So he and
my eyes are saying ...
He and Junior jokingly talked about what the cost would be.
Okay.
Whether or not that was actually a joke or not remains to be seen, obviously, because originally Twitter was a joke.
Oh.
Well, it was, and then it wasn't. And then they negotiated, and then they backed out.
Okay.
And then they came back, and then he backed out, and then the courts forced him to.
So his friend also came out with saying that he's like been high on ketamine and posting a bunch on social media because he's high on ketamine.
I would say that that's...
So I would take this with a huge grain of salt. I
would say that that's probably not true. And the reason is there's already the FTC or FCC, I think it was the FTC, yeah, Federal Trade Commission, put out a thing a couple of years ago with regards to Tesla, where he has these strict guidelines that he has to abide by when tweeting. Because essentially what they were saying is he was manipulating stock price by saying, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. And by teasing these things, he was either hurting or helping the stock price, which I guess is not necessarily insider trading, but could be if you've told your friends in advance, hey, I'm going to say this thing that we're going to miss our quota and that's going to tank the stock so you can buy more. Like there's...
Gotcha. I didn't know he was doing any of that.
Yeah. So that was why he was relieved of his role as CEO of Tesla. He's still like board director. Obviously they have to have like a fancy title. It's not just board director, but he's still on the board and he still runs the company, but he's not the CEO. And there's like, it's either 6 or 8 years or something like that he's not allowed to be. But he still effectively is. He just doesn't have the title. If you go to his LinkedIn profile, I'm bullshitting, but he doesn't have that byline anymore on his account where he's the CEO, but he still does CEO things. So does it matter? He still gets CEO paychecks. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's all.
So do you think he's going to, Andrew? Okay. Go back in time to when he was talking about X. How many months/years did he talk about it before he actually did it?
That was a while, like 2 years.
Okay, so this is the first he's talked about buying MSNBC, or I kind of feel like he did a couple months ago also.
So they've been one of the more problematic news agencies, and we won't talk about why, because
right, that's why I said a couple months ago, leading up to ...
So their star anchors have taken multi-million-dollar pay cuts.
Okay.
The one specific one, which I guess just had a meltdown yesterday regarding that meme specifically, had a meltdown on the news. She just took a $5 million pay cut.
Okay.
So, yeah, a lot of news agencies, a lot of that stuff is kind of going that way anyways. Everybody's really shifted gears over the last couple of months. Jeff Bezos put in basically a stipulation that all of everything that he owns needs to hire more people to make it balanced. Washington Post, I believe, is who he owns.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I only know him for Amazon. I didn't know him for anything else.
He also owns Blue Origin, which you knew that.
Oh, okay.
Dildo Rocket.
I don't think about them. I just didn't know that he owned any news agency.
Yeah, well, I think he owns like a corporation that owns. I'm pretty sure Washington Post is one of them, but I feel like not the New York Times. It's another really big one. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I had no idea.
So
this is news to me.
He basically gave them the stipulation that he wants them to start hiring people that have differing opinions so that they have a more balanced.
So it's the new diversity.
Sure.
It's not just about your sex and your race now. It's about difference of opinion.
For the better, I would say.
Yeah, no. I approve of that. So,
realistically, is it possible? Sure. Do I think he would do it? No. The reason why I don't think he would do it, unless, and this is actually, will tie into our next story, unless he would do it for like the existing subscribers and the platform that he could distribute news and information in a different format from what X does.
Okay.
So if you think of all these other platforms, right? Like Facebook back in the day, think about Facebook when it was only text, right? And
those who are consuming MSNBC currently are probably not on X.
Right. So, but it also gives you like the more long form, more formal, ad supported, maybe. So maybe he'll probably rebrand it to MSNBX or something like that. Or XXXXX, which would probably immediately return the other kind of website.
Right, exactly. And apparently he's down for that. So,
yeah, it's a possibility. So that brings me right into the next topic. Did you ever read or watch or consume any of the Onion's content back in the day when they were good?
A bazillion years ago, like maybe one or two.
So they used to have these, it was the same like 3 or 4, I don't know if they were stock images or if they were actual people that worked for the Onion. You know, the Onion goes back to like the 50s, right? Like they're really old.
No.
So they had these stock photos.
It was like early AOL time that I like stumbled upon them, not realizing that it was satire.
They were a physical newspaper back in the day. Still satirical, but it was a physical paper up until probably when everything else shifted. There still are obviously physical newspapers, but
and it was always satire from the beginning, or did it shift?
I believe so.
Even in the 50s? I cannot imagine.
Was the Onion always satire?
I cannot imagine satire in the 50s going over well.
Okay. This says it began publishing in 96. You know what I think it is? They have run like posts or whatever where they claim to have existed since then.
But it's all satire. Okay.
Well, it says it began began publishing online in early 1996. But this is on Wikipedia, and that's like the snippet. Let me pull it up. It was print-based company in Chicago, started publication August 29th, 1988.
88.
Yeah.
That's still not in the 50s.
Right. But they, again.
I can see Satire starting in 88, but not 50s. That's what I'm having trouble like wrapping my head around.
So they ceased publication, physical print publication, just in 2013.
Oh, okay.
But apparently they relaunched print August 16th of this year.
Okay. If you guys have printed Onion papers or is it magazine or paper?
It just says print publication.
In your local grocery store or wherever else you would possibly find it, please let us know, because I certainly haven't seen one. So
the reason that I bring this up, over the last probably at least decade, at least, because I used to consume a lot of their stuff. They had these running snippets where it was like opinion articles or whatever, and they would always interview, quote unquote, interview people, and it's like, local man doesn't like this, or local family, and it was always, it's not a person's name, it's always local man
just
disagrees with,
Okay.
So they bought at auction Alex Jones's InfoWars.
Right.
The Onion.
The crazy guy.
The Onion for the last at least decade, maybe even longer, maybe, and it might have been a progressive like shift or whatever, I don't know, but they were overwhelmingly more left-leaning, especially in the last couple of elections.
And he's definitely not.
And he is far, I mean,
it's so past the right that it's off the delusional chart.
And same, we've kind of had this conversation argument previously about how conspiracy theorists, once they're right one time, they believe everything they've ever talked about is right. Like how he's made comments about something about water making frogs gay and all kinds of weird stuff like that.
I don't know him for anything other than what he talks about with Sandy Hook.
And that's why his company was sold. The court ordered that. And so the Onion.
And then isn't he trying to take it back?
He can't. The court ordered it.
Pull it up. I'm pretty sure he.
They bought it for like pennies on the dollar. They're not going to sell it to him.
And pull it up, because I'm pretty sure that he has flipped over a lawsuit like against it.
So they buy it out of bankruptcy. I knew this was going to happen. Let's try and continue. Is this going to let us go?
Probably not. Nope. Create a free account. No, we're not creating an account with New York Times.
Let's see here. AP News, I believe, will let us, or it'll let us at least skip it.
And then I even saw it on one of the tabs.
See InfoWars at auction with Sandy Hook.
Right.
Back.
But if it was like about 7 down, it says Alex Jones affiliated company challenges the Onion.
On Reuters. Challenges their purchase.
November 18th.
Losing bidder connected to him, challenged on Monday the Onion's purchase. What day is this? November 8th. So this is like a week ago?
Mm-hmm. Jones was forced to auction his assets, including InfoWars, into bankruptcy after courts ordered him to pay $1.5 million for defaming the family. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Billion for defaming the families of 20 students and 6 staff members killed in the 2012 massacre of Sandy Hook. But if you do a search of specifically this, I feel like he is truly trying to fight it and trying to take InfoWars or whatever back.
I'm trying to see. It does say that they're challenging it, but I'm trying to find like a quick snippet where it says specifically the Onion's bid was valued at $7 million, in large part because the majority of Sandy Hook families agreed to accept a percentage of future revenue. So I bet, without reading this whole article, what it is he potentially had a friend that was going to bid higher, but they probably weren't going to do revenue sharing, and they're agreeing to do it because it's restitution for them. So they have to, probably their attorneys or the courts or state, whatever, has to agree to the terms. So by them offering a low number, coming in as the low bidder, but then offering future revenue, they're always going to agree to that because there's always, it's like filming a movie or TV show or whatever and having that residual forever, where every time it's syndicated, it reruns on a million different channels or whatever, versus one-time pay. They're banking on getting paid basically for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And he probably had, it might not have been a significantly bigger bid, but he probably had a bigger bidder.
I believe that he's trying to challenge the purchase in general.
Maybe.
I saw this like 2 days ago.
So my theory that I kicked around about when this was announced, when I first heard about it, is that you've heard of the Babylon Bee, right?
Yes.
So Babylon Bee
it's kind of onionish.
Yeah.
Right.
But they are definitely more conservative. They outright say it, and they're also religious.
Yeah.
So
I guess take it in the name, Babylon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
that obviously went over my head.
I think, and assuming the families are okay with this, I think because the notoriety, the existing brand, what people already know it as, that the Onion is doing it to have a satirical right wing. That they can write, because rather than it being Alex Jones talking about whatever nonsense, now they're writing it, and it could be the exact same story, but because they're writing it with the intention of it being satire.
Rather than delusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're diversifying their portfolio. They have the brand, and
I wonder what conspiracy theorists they're going to take on next.
I don't know, but I kind of think that it might be funny for at least a while. Like, it might go the way of a Saturday Night Live where it's funny and then it just dies because they try too hard. But I think it might be funny initially. So they were talking about how they're going to hire their own writers and publishers and everything like that for it. Whether people take that job seriously or not, I guess, is another question. But a lot of people take a job like that because they're like, well, this gets me my foothold. They would take it very seriously, even though it's for satire, because they're getting paid. No, I don't mean not taking it seriously like in a bad way. What I mean is, do they take the job thinking that they're going to change hearts and minds, or are they taking the job because they're like, this is just my stepping stone. This is my entry level to getting to. I
don't think the same person who would take a job with the Onion or Babylon Bee is the same person who's taking a job with the New York Times. It's not the same. It's not the same kind of writer.
I think sometimes some of them do both. Like, some of them will write under like a pseudonym or stage name for.
I guess anything's possible, but I genuinely don't see it as the same kind of writer.
I know some guys within the military news industry that do a little bit of both, but it's also a smaller niche and smaller industry. So there's not as many people trying to do it. So the Onion or whatever version for military and veteran community is called Duffel Blog.
Okay.
And that's basically all the Duffel Blog does, is make fun of, wars, news, politics, things that are.
And then what's the serious publication to compare that to?
Stars and Stripes. There's a couple others.
But again, a much more niche. I can't imagine that if you went to an interview at the New York Times and you said, oh, my previous employer was the Onion, or I'm currently at the Onion, they'd be like.
It depends on what they're looking for. Like, sometimes they just want to know, do you know how to edit, and what does your success look like? Do you know how to appeal to people? You appeal to people in the humor genre. A lot of those big publications have a column where it's a humor.
Right. So usually they're outsourced to contractors who are authors on their own right.
Right.
And so that, again, that's not the same person who's writing the hard-hitting pieces. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
So yeah, I really wonder
what's going to come of it.
Yeah, I for better or worse, I kind of want to see this happen because I want to see what they do with it. Obviously, they're in no world are they going to take and just shelve it. Mm-hmm. They didn't buy it to put it on the bookshelf somewhere. They bought it to use it. They bought it to grow their corporation, their brand as a whole. So I wonder if they even keep the name.
Who knows? We will only find out, just like we'll only find out about MSNBC turning into XXX.
5 X's, right? Or MSNBC. Yeah, 5 X's.
Oh, I was just... All the other ones are like ABC, CBS, whatever.
Well,
just drop it down to 3 and then make it...
MSNBC was Microsoft NBC.
Either way. Just drop it down to 3.
I believe it was originally like more business news. It was more like Bloomberg, that kind of publication or news agency.
Okay.
Like the stock tickers and trading, stuff like that. And then because everybody's trying to get clicks and ad revenue, so now they have to editorialize and talk about pop culture and stuff like that. I believe. I don't remember 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Who knows?
Who knows?
So, moving along here on our little list of stuff.
I mean, we could stay along with the MSNBC, and we're talking about Ellen DeGeneres next because she's leaving the country and
left.
Right. And therefore has left her show as well, which wasn't that on MSNBC?
So she didn't leave her show.
Wait, what?
The show was already canceled.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I just learned earlier this week that she is like the most hated person in Hollywood ever.
Oh, I've known for a really long time that everybody who worked for her said that she was basically an evil witch. That's like a really nice way of putting it.
I learned that this week. That basically nobody ever had anything nice to say about her. And so it basically led to her image and her show collapsing. Mm-hmm. She tried to come back with a stand-up.
I didn't know anything about that.
But people said that it was very, it was clearly intended to be something to repair her image.
Gotcha.
But she was very, very out of touch.
Oh, absolutely. She's been out of touch.
But she was making light of it. Oh, initially, she apologized. I've been a really terrible person. I didn't really...
How many months or years ago was this stand-up?
Like this year, I believe.
Oh, gosh.
So she started saying, and they thought initially, okay, it sounds sincere. Sounds like she's looking for forgiveness.
No, her PR person gave her a script to read.
Yeah. And then she gets into it. She starts talking about, oh, you know how when you get in your car and your back massager doesn't work and... it's problems that everybody has. And people are like, no.
Most of us don't have a back massager in our vehicle.
Yeah.
That's something that we don't even dream about because it's not even on our spectrum of ideas that could possibly occur in our lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, who does that? Probably, I know Lincoln does. Cadillac probably.
Bentley, maybe?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure once you start talking about all those European brands that, export their highest end luxury vehicles here. Mm-hmm. Mercedes-Benz probably has one. I mean, I'm sure they do.
I don't know. I think the real reason why she left the country has nothing to do with what just occurred at the beginning of November.
Yeah.
And we'll just leave that.
Yeah, I don't think so
it
either.
has to do with Diddy. They were very, very, very close and probably still are. And I think that's the real reason why.
Possibly. There's a lot of possible reasons.
I'm sure there are, and maybe even linked to Epstein.
But I'm saying it could be coincidence. She could be like, oh, I'm going to get my fresh start because nobody in America likes me anymore. But
no, I think she's leaving now to make it look like it's the beginning of November's outcome.
Okay.
I think the real reason why she's leaving is because of Diddy.
So some of the interviews and the clips that I saw and read and heard and watched were people that worked on the show that, you know, anytime you watch any of these talk shows and things like that back in the day, they would always like return from a commercial break and it looked like, whether or not it was real or not, I'm just saying it would look like the host was like interacting with the audience, talking with them, walking through the studio audience, giving high fives, whatever.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Apparently, she would not acknowledge them. I'm on my break. Like, I'm not working right now. Don't talk to me. I want nothing to do with you.
I wonder if it was like that the whole time, though. I wonder.
That's what they say.
Right. I'm wondering if, you know, she gave some effort in the beginning and then very quickly turned diva, or she was the diva the whole time. I don't know. But yes, I've heard this for many, many, many years that she was not a nice person to be around.
Look at all of these headlines on search. All we typed in was Ellen DeGeneres.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Just her name.
There's not a negative headline.
Her new dark hair makes her barely recognizable.
Yep. Even Fox News, Ellen DeGeneres exodus amid victory, the election victory.
Except you just said that word.
Well, I said that, but not the other one, whatever. Yeah, wild conspiracy. There's nothing in there is just outright negative. It's all editorialized speculation. What is she doing? Why is she doing it? Where is she going? Who is she with? There's nothing negative in here at all.
Yep.
It's wild. Do you think she'll ever get another chance? A third chance, I guess you would call it?
I hope not.
So they said that she was an actress at some point?
Yeah.
In what?
She was in a sitcom in the early 90s, and that's when she came out as a lesbian. Oh, Ellen.
That's the name of the show?
Yeah. And she was straight in the show, but then she came out as a lesbian.
So it was named after her.
Yeah.
And so she played herself, or she was a character?
She was a character.
Just happened to have her name.
Mm-hmm. And then she was so brave for coming out, but it also ended the show.
Okay.
But then she got her
talk show,
yeah, which was 2003 maybe when that started.
Does it say right there? 2001.
Oh.
Is that what that says?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just guessing on the 2003. I remembered I was in middle school when it
I guess I could
came out.
Zoom in.
Huh!
2001 to 2002, the Ellen show. So was it canceled and then came back? Or yes.
Okay, so 2003 was when the real, maybe they like tried to do something in 2001. I didn't know anything about
on
this.
A different channel.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that one, but I was guessing on the 2003 for her actual show, and that's 2022 is when it ended. I didn't know that.
And I guess this must be the stand-up.
Or maybe that is too. Ellen DeGeneres for your approval, 2024.
No, that is it. That's right. Yeah.
Interesting.
And
had no knowledge of this.
It was pitched as being
Little Ellen. She had a kids show in 2021 to 2022.
I guess. It was a YouTube animated show.
Interesting. Had no idea about it.
That didn't go well, obviously. Apple TV.
A 1.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Jeez. Brutal.
Yeah.
Well.
It was probably too woke for parents, is my guess.
Well, and it looks like, I mean, obviously it probably does come with a subscription, but on Google search, it shows Apple TV 99 cents per episode. So people probably paid for it. And they were like, what is this? And then left a bad review. Maybe. Who knows?
Possibly. Who knows? And we will never know because we're definitely not going to watch it.
No, never, ever. Well, so going on from talking about
Ellen.
commercial failures to commercial failures. You saw...
I did. Jaguar rebranded. My initial reaction, either a cosmetic company or an adult toy company is what the new logo looks like.
Okay.
Does not give me automobile.
Did you see the commercial?
No. I'm just talking about the new logo in general.
That's the commercial. So you were very close about it looking like a makeup company or a...
It's just people in bright colors.
Here, let me make sure this is muted. Yeah. Okay. So people shouldn't be able to hear this. I'm going to click mute here.
They're coming off of an elevator on a different planet. Yeah. And live vivid, delete ordinary. Let me stand sideways in a room. Let me sit on the planet. Let me look at random things. Copy nothing. Jaguar. Whoever came up with this is probably 21 years old. And the 50-year-old boss said, sure, let's give it a try.
So the
Marketing
first comment
to kids now.
The first comment here on Reddit, we watched the YouTube video, but we're in Reddit thread. First comment says, my only critique is, what does this have to do with cars?
And then the next one, this commercial doesn't have a single car in it, which is true. It doesn't. Yeah, there's just, I mean, even the font for Jaguar, like, again, it makes me think of like a makeup company.
Yeah. And so those like OG, when you think of like Jaguar, BMW, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin,
Yeah.
like they all have like a coat of arms kind of logo, or maybe not their full-time logo, but they all have some branding that has something really cool like that. And then for them to be like, this is
completely rebrand and
circular font. Let's get rid of...
Try to appeal to a younger generation.
Which, okay, so typically, so let's say like Ford or Chevy, when they tease a new car, like a new Ford GT or a new Corvette or a new Raptor or whatever is coming out,
okay,
they typically do this thing where they'll have it like silhouetted, and it's like, the engine will rev. It'll just be like the sound, and it'll be like coming soon, and there'll be like skid marks or whatever,
okay.
They try and invoke like excitement.
Okay.
If they were releasing, which I would imagine would be for a commercial like this, a more budget oriented line of cars, right? Like,
I don't think this is to be budget. I think it's appealing to a younger generation who have shit tons of money currently. They're all in the tech industry. They're all making like $450,000 a year. That's who they're appealing to.
Okay.
I don't think this is to be a budget car. It's just to appear cool. I think they're still going to be expensive.
But you think it's going to be all of the exact same cars? Like they're not even announcing a new model or a new, like a refreshed, like the generations.
Oh no, anything's possible on what they're going to look like. I'm just saying they're appealing to the 21 to 27 crowd who are making so much money they don't know what to do with.
They're calling it inclusive branding. What does that have to do with being inclusive? Nobody dresses like that. Who are you including?
I think because they included non-binary and multicultural humans in the commercial, that makes them inclusive.
So by excluding the majority of the population, they're being inclusive?
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so to the best of what I can see, they haven't announced a new car, but The Jaguar XF starts at $49,800. That seems to be their cheapest car.
I mean, I feel like all cars start at 50 grand now.
Right, but I didn't think that they had a car that cheap. I thought you were looking at 60 minimum.
Gotcha.
Weird. Well, we'll see how it goes for them. Bold move, Cotton. See how it plays out.
Okay.
You know what that's from, right?
No idea.
Was that Dodgeball?
I don't know.
It's the dude it's Jason Bateman, I believe. He's like climbs up on his chair, like pulls his leg up, and he's like sitting there. They're commentating.
I have no idea what Andrew's talking about.
Did you watch Dodgeball?
Yeah, like a bazillion years ago.
Oh.
It was terrible.
It was not terrible.
Worst movie ever.
What are you talking
Pretty
about?
much all of Ben Stiller's movies are terrible.
Okay. Sure. We just watched something recently that he's responsible for or are watching.
Like what?
Hold up.
I don't know of anything that we've watched recently that has Ben Stiller in it that I have watched recently.
Not in it, that he's like the producer of, but I know what it is. It's the show that I'm watching or started watching, and I haven't really watched all of it yet.
The Apple TV one where they shrink or make their minds erase or something weird.
Severance.
Oh. The HBO one?
Yeah, you're kind of on, but I didn't know. I thought it was like about like losing your job. That's what I assumed the severance meant. But what it is, they have this procedure.
Right. You made me watch the preview.
Right. So what they do is
Yeah, that is on Apple TV.
Okay. So they sever the connection in your mind. So you don't remember.
That's why I said I wanted nothing to do with it. I didn't want to watch it. And you were like, I think you would really like it.
It's dry.
I don't like dry. I can handle dry like Office dry, but not.
It's got the one guy from The Office in it.
I know that. And that's how you tried to sell it to me.
It's pretty good.
Well, obviously not good enough for you to continue.
Because there's been more entertaining things to consume.
Okay.
You didn't like, I'm looking at his list of stuff. This is TV shows.
Who, Ben Stiller still?
He must have just been like executive producer on a lot of stuff. King of Queens, Arrested Development. You didn't like any of that?
He was on King of Queens.
It just said it's in his thing. I don't know if he might just be like an executive producer or something. So
I saw a few episodes of it. It was funny, but he was definitely not a character, or at least a reoccurring character in it. Whether he was a producer, I don't know.
It says Jerry. He plays somebody named Jerry.
Oh, then I did not see that episode. Again, I only saw a handful of episodes. It's like that rerun show that comes on at 5 o'clock on like TBS or something that would sometimes be on the background when I would be cooking dinner.
You didn't like Meet the Parents? Meet the Fockers?
That is his only tolerable series. Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers. Is there a third one?
I thought there was.
I thought there was too, but now I'm blanking.
What about There's Something About Mary?
I really didn't like it. It was like, okay, but...
There's a second Zoolander? What?
No, I'm not watching it with you. Don't even bother asking.
No, 2016.
Don't even bother asking. Was he in it, or was he just
he's still
a producer?
In it. Yeah, he's still on the cover. And Will Ferrell's in it too, I can see. And,
2016, that was your prime dating era. Why didn't you take your girlfriend to it, Andrew?
I don't know. I just moved here.
Right. That was your prime dating era, Andrew. Why didn't you take your girlfriend to it?
I don't know. Let's see.
You really missed out.
Megamind, Madagascar.
Yeah, I saw all the kid movies with him in it.
Starsky and Hutch. Owen Wilson.
If I saw it, I don't remember.
What about Night at the Museum?
Yeah, that series isn't terrible. He's like such a jumpy guy, and everything that he does is just very, I don't know how to describe. Oh my God, she's trying to climb up here.
The third one is called Little Fockers.
There you go. Yes. I've I believe I've seen that.
What about Heavyweights?
I
believe that's like
that.
Fat Camp, I believe.
I haven't seen that. I don't know that.
Happy Gilmore too. What? Doesn't have a year.
Is that a real thing? There's a second one, like a real for real?
It has info cards on Google, so it's real enough, but it doesn't look like it's made yet. Upcoming American sports comedy film directed by Kyle Newich. So
I have seen that they were working on it. I didn't know that was real.
What is he going to reprise his role as the nursing home nurse?
Oh my God, I forgot that's what he was in there. Oh my gosh, he was terrible. The worst.
It looks like he is, unless that's a janitor or something. That's a really funny a fake mustache, it looks like, or do you think he can grow hair like that?
I don't know. Anything's possible.
Looks like the Kelsey brothers are in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see that they just announced that they're pregnant with number 4?
Who?
Jason and
I didn't know
his
he
wife.
had any kids.
He has 3 daughters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has 3 daughters, and I'm blanking on what his wife's name is, but they just announced like 2 days ago.
Are they the kind of people that does she have like another? Is it like Josephine?
What?
Like a similar name to him? You know, a lot of times famous people somehow walk into that where they have very similar names.
No, all I know is that somebody asked in an interview or a question or something a couple months ago if they were ever going to have more children. And she came out with a statement saying that they were completely done at 3, that like, she was like, you know, my heart is full, I'm good. And then she stitched her own video as the announcement, and she was like, famous last words.
So you think it was an oops baby, or do you think she had a change of heart, or they had a change of heart?
It could be both, honestly. Anything's possible. And the video was actually really cute. The older 2 daughters who looked to be like, I don't know, 6 and 4, and then the youngest looked to be like 2. The 6 and 4 were kind of happy about it, and the 2-year-old was like, ah. And they were all wearing big sister shirts. So it was really cute.
You perfectly segued for one of our other topics here.
Lindsay Lohan,
Yeah.
she has had the glow up of the century.
Wait, that's
that is
her?
for sure. Yes. Facelift, fillers, Botox.
Is that a glow up though? If you like,
And she's, I believe, sober. So that's like the biggest glow up of it all. And she's a mom now.
motherhood looks good on Lindsay Lohan.
It's more than just motherhood, but yes.
Actor welcomed her first child, a boy, with her husband, Bader Shamus.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. All I know is she, I think, is in more Christmas movies than anybody else.
You talking about like Hallmark?
Yeah. Or apparently Netflix does Christmas movies too. What?
I don't know if you were paying attention to the Michigan game last night, but they were advertising Hallmark movies during the commercial breaks and like even in the game.
Yeah.
Like
No, I saw.
premiering tonight.
Yeah,
This
it was-
Christmas movie.
Yeah, I saw.
The Three Dads or something.
Something.
weird.
Yeah. I saw.
It's not even Thanksgiving yet.
I know.
So I'm trying to. The whole thing was something about a routine with her son.
Oh. What routine does she have with her son?
That's what I thought was gonna. This is like, who is this really? How the article is written?
I don't know. It
One sentence picture.
It looks like
one sentence picture.
clips or pictures and captions.
Yeah, but like,
Oh, wait, hold on. It says, most recently on Friday, she shared on Today the one ritual she has with her son every morning. I have this thing that since my son was born, I take a picture of him every single morning. The second he wakes up, I can't miss it. So I need to be on his schedule more than ever. She told Hoda and Jenna Bush Hager.
Did have you seen those videos? Or I'm sure it's on social media. I've seen the thumbnails for it on YouTube. The guy, there's one guy that like took a selfie every day for like 22 years. Like, People weren't even taking selfies 22 years ago. Why did you think to stand in front of a mirror and take a picture with your point and shoot camera?
Who knows?
And it's a time lapse of.
Yeah. I think I've seen it.
There's been a couple other ones as well, but who, at what point as well do you decide to turn that into content?
I don't know. But she obviously is mimicking that in her own way of wanting to compile her son every single day.
You know how stressful that's got to be every day? Because then if you miss a day, you're like, somebody like her is going to be like, oh no, I missed a day and I had a thing and I wasn't there when he woke up.
Or ask somebody else to, her husband.
But if you do it
if
you do it once a week, that's a little less stressful because if you miss it on Monday, you can do it on Tuesday.
Yeah, but then you make the excuse consecutively of, oh, it's fine. I didn't do it this past time, so I can skip it this time. And whereas if you're religious about it,
you should start doing it with the kids.
It's too late.
No, you can still start doing it now.
It's too late.
No, it's not.
It's too late.
No, it's not.
It's too late.
No, that guy started when he was an adult. Ooh.
No, it's okay. I'm not going to invade my children's privacy like that.
Do you think this will get brought back up again in like 10 years? Lindsay Lohan releases the time lapse of her son.
Possibly. Anything is possible. And at this point, she's doing anything to stay relevant. So, sure.
Do you think she doesn't have money? Do you think she...
Well, I know that she was really heavy into drugs for several years, and then she moved to Greece, and she opened like a club there and was really successful. And I didn't even know she had moved back to the United States when she announced that she was pregnant. So I didn't even know she was married.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess the last thing, the other topics don't really have a lot to do with anything we were talking about. The Lizzo pictures.
I would love to see a Lizzo picture. Andrew?
Headline is that she's unrecognizable.
Oh. I agree. She is unrecognizable. I would never... Yeah.
Says that
she doesn't look like Lizzo anymore.
It says that she dispelled rumors about her using Ozempic to lose weight.
So she's claiming that just being a vegan is all that...
Fans...
How much weight did she drop?
I don't know, but that's also that deceptive angle.
Yeah.
That top down where you can't tell... I lost weight.
Are you saying that she's catfishing people?
No,
and
I mean, you can tell.
And that other girls catfish people by doing the angle like that?
But she clearly did lose a lot of weight because there is a point at which you can't fake it. Mm-hmm. But there's also a point at which you can really make yourself look a lot better. She's wearing something that's not form-fitting. Mm-hmm. She's really high with the camera angle. It's dark in her car, looks like she's in. Mm-hmm. There's no like reference. You can't really tell. The only thing exposed is her shoulders and jaw.
Okay. And there wouldn't be a jaw to be exposed if she hadn't lost weight is the point, though.
Sure. I'm looking to see if it even says. Does it say? Mm-mm. She ate things like fresh sushi and fluffy egg.
She exercises with Pilates and takes walks, it also says.
Weight training and calorie deficit. 5 months. There's no way only in 5 months.
I mean, I guess anything's possible if you're rich enough and you can have it sucked out of you as well.
Yeah, it doesn't... I'm not saying anything in here about how much. But so she had been posting, maybe not specifically that she was trying to lose weight, but she had been posting stuff. And Emery King had been, I believe he was retweeting. I believe she was posting on X and he was resharing it with something to the effect of, I don't agree with like anything that you talk about or say, but I'm proud of you for putting in the work or something like that. Like, I don't really like you as a person, but you're setting a good example is what he was saying.
Okay.
But I never stopped and like, what does she look like now?
Oh, I was waiting for you to follow up, and then she responded to him, "Fuck off" or something.
No, I don't think that happened. But she's 36. Didn't know that.
Didn't either.
How old would you have thought she was?
32. I thought she was younger than me, not older than me.
So she talked to the news to say that her body is nobody's business while posting about it.
So, okay. That's kind of hard to do though, because she was the one pushing for body positivity and that whole movement. So you can't have both sides. You can't be a body positive. It's okay to be any weight, but then also respect my privacy in this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Congratulations to her for losing weight.
Yeah.
I am not discrediting that in any way, but it did also say in that article that she was posting daily on her, I think our TikTok, it said, what she was eating and her workouts. Yeah. So she is exposing what she is doing and sharing that with her fans, I guess. So
she's been candid and transparent about her health journey as she has shown her diets and workouts on social media, especially on TikTok.
Right. So then she's sharing it. It's not private.
Yeah. Well, good job.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Now, both Andrew and I need to lose some weight. We're both back in the gym.
Mm-hmm. I went today.
He went today. I went 2 whole times this past week, which are 2 times more than I've gone this entire year. I'm going again tomorrow.
No, you went for a while when you first signed up at the Y because you went for a while, especially with Chloe. And then things got busy with football and tumbling and...
It really wasn't. Like, it was so... Okay, so I joined the Y because I was going to get the discount on soccer signups, basketball signups, football signups, all of that stuff. But also they have a rule that at 10 years old, as long as the child goes through the certification process with the person who works there, and I'm not going to call them a trainer because they're definitely not a trainer, but the person who works there, just going through the motions of... That's
safety and familiarization.
Exactly. And just etiquette on the gym floor in general. As long as they go through that course, which is like an hour long.
Just laughing at how Bella walked up and was like, "Hi guys, look at me with my cone on."
As long as they do that, then they can work out with me. So obviously Cooper and Chloe were over 10 years old, so they could immediately do that with me. And then Charlotte was going to be turning 10 this past summer. So I knew in the near future when I signed up, she would be able to as well. Chloe very quickly, though, decided that the gym was not for her. And
she was also the one saying, "Hey, Mom, let's go."
Right. So, but she loves going on bike rides. And she's just more of an outdoor, working on her bike or just being outside in general. I personally do not like working out outside. I don't want to be hot and sweaty outside. I want to be in a climate controlled AC when I'm working out. So that was part of the reason why it was a fast start and then a very fast stop to going to the gym, is because Chloe was both saying, "I'll go," and then she would, "Never mind, don't." And so then I hadn't gone during the day when they were at school because I was waiting for after school to go with her, for her to only say, "Never mind." And then finally I told myself, I am done waiting. I am going to go on my own. Mm-hmm. No longer waiting. So finally, I'm not waiting anymore.
Yep.
I'm going. But Charlotte likes to go with me, so she's going to go with me tomorrow.
Good. I was trying to remember how old she was.
Yeah, she can. She's 10. She can do the cardio with me.
Good. Did I already say that we're not going to have an episode on Thanksgiving?
Maybe at the beginning. Yes, you did.
Right. So, yeah. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Our 2,000 subscriber giveaway ends on Saturday the 30th at 11:59 Eastern Time, PM, that is, specifically. For the military, timey-wimey type people out there, 23:59:59.
Timey-wimey?
Something that these nerds say. Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly.
All right, since we're not having a Thanksgiving episode, everybody please be safe and do not cook your turkey in a deep fryer inside.
Well, they need a safety brief for Blackout Wednesday. Get an Uber. Huh?
What?
Yeah, Wednesday is the most notorious, like the highest alcohol consumed in the United States.
What? What?
Yeah, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is called Blackout Wednesday.
Is it because people are visiting their family
Possibly.
and it's their first time seeing their family in like a year and they're like, oh my God, I can't do this?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know this.
Yeah. So if you're going out drinking on Wednesday, get an Uber.
Do not drive.
Or have your teenage kid pick you up if you have one of those. For Thursday, don't pick fights with your family.
Yeah, and just don't talk about politics, please.
On Friday, don't steal TVs. On Saturday, make sure you watch Michigan football.
No, on
Yes.
Saturday is Small Business Saturday, so please go shopping at all of your local small businesses and support small businesses.
Watch Michigan football while you're doing it. Sunday, I don't know, you'll figure it out on your own. Cyber Monday, spend your money on merch from our website. Mm-hmm. And then on Tuesday, donate to Veteran Wiki for Giving Tuesday.
You're allowed to donate before then, but donate on Tuesday. And then share it on your social media as well. Yeah.
You can do those fundraisers on
Facebook, or can you do it anywhere else?
I don't know about it. I know that the centralized service that they use, PayPal Giving Fund,
okay,
is like, and so there's that, and then there's also Network for Good and one other one. Like you have to have two or all three for different services to work. So yeah, if you want to do, you can do a random. It doesn't even have, people can do for my birthday, give X amount of money to this fundraiser. You can do that. You can do a fundraiser anytime you want. Any post you create can be a fundraiser for Veteran Wiki. Veteran Wiki would much appreciate you. Very much appreciate you. And on that note,
have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. See you guys December. Will be the next episode will be in December.
That's wild to me.
Happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.